Welcome to the latest episode of Five on the Floor on the Five Reasons Sports Network. Thanks for joining us on your favorite podcast app on Apple Podcasts. On Android, we recommend Spotify. Also, check out Off the Floor. That's our Discord server, $2.99 per month. Link is right there in the description. You'll bypass the Apple upcharge. We got more and more of the Heat influencers are moving over from Twitter and moving here. It's because we give you everything that you get from Twitter anyway and more. So check it out. It's $2.99 per month. It's Off the Floor. Also, check out Prize Picks. Use the code 5, F-I-V-E. If you see another code in there, delete it, add ours. Ours is better. Get $50 in free lineups. It's all there on the Explore page as soon as you play the $5. So go to prizepicks.com, legal in the state of Florida, our official daily fantasy partner. And, of course, we're at that point of the year where everybody's playing MLB, NBA, NHL, and NFL. Yeah, right, that other league. And now, today's episode.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it's Mercy. Music by Mercy again. Heat Nation, we the culture. Yo, E, I need you to call timeout. Need Brady to set the floor plan. Tropical blanket, open for the shot. Yo, Greg, set the pick. Still 5 on the floor, still ride for my dog. Still battle on the court, still survive in the war. Keep your eye on the ball, or get burned from the keep this mic off the wall without turning the cheek. From night to day, no sleepy paths or allowed to morning. The nut is sleeping us, never catch us snoring. Live from Miami, report in the heat with 5 Reasons Sports from the courts to the streets. Dang, Wake County, Heat Nation, we say it proudly.
Welcome to Five on the Floor, a daily insider show on the Miami Heat and the NBA, featuring Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, Alex Toledo, Brady Hawk, and others from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Also, make sure to subscribe to Off the Floor for the most heat anywhere.
All right, welcome back to 5 on the Floor. Here's today's floor plan. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick on 5 Reasons Sports. We got Sean Rochester. You can follow him at S. Rochester NBA. Hope everybody's getting over their Halloween hangover. It is officially November. And the Miami Heat are 3-2. They're 3-2 with an offensive system that's gotten some attention, even after the loss in San Antonio, without Norman Powell, without Tyler Hero, both of whom are on the trip. Expecting Powell to be back before too long. He may even play Sunday against the Lakers. Clippers come up on Monday. So that's his old team. Or is it Monday or Tuesday? I can't remember. Anyway, they're playing him on this particular trip. Then Denver at the very end of this trip. Of course, that's a scheduled loss. We know how that goes. It's always the end of this trip. And, of course, you're playing against Jokic and company. But the Heat have been competitive, and they've been competitive in large part because they've changed their offense. And there are some folks in Memphis, and there's other things going on in Memphis right now. Ja Morant's not happy. I'm now managing on SI Grizzlies, which is probably why Ja Morant's not happy. But there's an offensive system that they were trying to use last year. And the person who was on the staff who was installing that system is no longer there. And apparently he's consulting or has been consulting with the Heat. Anthony Chang got this clarified a little bit. This is Sean LaRoche. And Sean Rochester and I are going to go through some of what
Noah LaRoche.
Oh no! Why? See, why am I thinking that? Because I have you on the show, Noah LaRoche. I'm sorry.
It's an honor.
Well, you can take credit for it. I got Sean Rochester. You can follow him at S Rochester NBA. And I'm sorry, Noah LaRoche. My apologies. And so he's apparently working with the Heat in some capacity, but he's not listed officially as an assistant coach. So, just could you clarify for people what that may mean?
Yeah, I mean, you've done some digging. It appears that it kind of caught us off guard. Like all of us, within the network were kind of like, did we know this? Did we miss something? Like we podded, you made us pod, 175 times over endless topics. And somehow over the last few months, we missed this one. Like what happened?
But Sean, we kind of touched on this one because you and I did a podcast, not about him, but about do the Heat need an offensive coordinator or a change of direction offensively? And so we kind of telegraphed this without knowing it was actually going on in the background.
Correct. And our listeners and our fans have talked about bringing in a fresh new idea, like someone that generated something new. And you touched on this earlier in the week. I made a comment when in our off the floor he didn't reinvent the wheel. Like, this is something that has existed for many years. Like, Noah LaRoche didn't come up with his own offense. It's taking the ideas of others and creating a system that he's brought now to Spoelstra. And now the offense is really, it's running very well. Like, even in losses, we've looked very good. It's exciting to watch. It's fun to watch. For Heat fans, this is different, right? Like, we have never, it's been a long time since we've been excited about an offense. So we'll break down the different principles and things like that today, but it's exciting so far.
It has been. I mean, even against the Spurs, where they kind of got grinded down to San Antonio's pace, they still had moments. They had the 17-1 run at the start of the fourth quarter, and that was a game that Jovic Ware did not play well. Hawkins did not play well compared to the way that he's played to start the season, the first 4 games. No Powell, no Hero. And so you add all that together and you're like, okay, you still were competitive with San Antonio. And if some of the calls had gone differently earlier in the game, especially that Davion thing, that sort of trended it in a direction that didn't go Miami's way. But let's get into some of the principles here, because as you said, that there is a little bit of confusion about what this is. You've made the point that this is not about not calling any plays. This is not just like throw the ball out there and everybody, hey, it's an all-star game. That's not what they're doing, right? And so go through it from what LaRoche preaches here, or may have imparted to the Heat, because there are a lot of similarities to when you go through his videos and kind of his core principles to what Miami is doing right now. It's close to a straight line.
Yeah, and I'll give a little background, because it doesn't, for me, I learned read and react from Rick Torbett. Rick Torbett's the guy that's credited with inventing that probably 15, 20 years ago. I learned it through PGC basketball. I did a clinic with him. I ran it with my high school team in Hilton Head. I've ran it here in Philadelphia, and I've learned different variations of it. And that's where I think it's important. Like, this is pure read and react with Noah LaRoche's unique principles. Lots of people run read and react. It's not all the same. Like, you can say motion offense. Motion offense is different no matter where you're at, because people put in their own little, fingerprints to it. This is an offense. It's wide open. It's fast paced. It's based on, moving the ball, moving bodies. You can't be stagnant. You have to move. If you're stagnant, it's not going to work. It's about quick decisions. You talk about like Popovich with like 0.5 seconds. The ball's moving. It's catch and shoot. It's catch and drive. It's catch and move the ball. But read and react, the most important thing is the first word in that is read. It's not just react. You have to be able to read the defense. So you need high IQ basketball players. And I think the Heat really have a team that fits this. So, you talked about, the install, and last night on Prime, I think it was last night.
Yeah,
was there with Bam and Norm, and they were talking about that offense. And it's stuff that you can run with a high school team. Like, the videos posted on Off the Floor are like Division III, like up in like the Northeast, like small time college basketball. Those guys are not super talented, but the system is what matters. You have guys running to their spots. You have dribble-ats where if I dribble at you and I don't break the 3-point line, I'm immediately backdooring. It's like you said, it's not plays. I've been taught certain rules within this offense, and I know my triggers. Like, if this happens, X happens, Y happens next. Like, the players know based on what I do with the ball. Ultimately, the person with the ball is the trigger. I have to react to that person, and everyone else follows suit with like circle movement, backdoors, things like that.
Okay. And again, it sounds like there's no structure, but there is
Correct.
kind of a structure. It reminds me of some of the rules on writing. When you grow up and you taught to write, you taught don't start a sentence with an and, the word and, right? Like there's a lot of stuff like, and then as you kind of grow as a writer and you are able to understand the rules, then you're told you can break them. And that there's more of an onus on you in your ability to kind of make decisions as you write. Okay. And I do feel like there's a little bit of parallels to this. I think that the larger point is that Erik Spoelstra recognized the need for a change, right? Like that's one of the things we talked about in the offseason, that they couldn't continue to do things the same way, regardless of what the personnel was. The offense has not been good for several years. And also, although you say this group is a perfect fit for this particular offense, a lot of us didn't think this group was a perfect fit for anything, right? Like,
I agree.
I mean, there's a talent deficiency compared to some of the others around the league. And two of the things that jumped out to us in preseason were they don't have a lot of isolation players, ability to get to the basket, although Davion was the best isolation player in the league through the first 4 games. And they didn't seem to have, other than Powell and Hero, a ton of, deep shooting that they could count on. And those are the things you need to get sort of 3 instead of 2 guys who can get to the basket, get hacked, get to the line, slow the game down that way. And then others who can make threes to sort of, go 3 for 2 against other teams. So how do you think his personnel dictated this? Or do you think, why do you think he came to this, that he would sort of entrust himself? I don't know how much he's done it, but it's clear he's mimicked some things that LaRoche teaches.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think it's personnel, but it's also, and it's credit to Spo. Like he had to release power of this offense. Like he's not sitting over there calling a million plays because he's allowing them to run. Like he's allowing them to play this read and react system, this LaRoche system. And that's credit to him, because most coaches, if you have a talent deficiency, you're going to probably say, I need to control every single possession. And he's not doing that. He's allowing them to go out there and play freely. And it's really opening up the offense for a team that even now, like 5 games in, I still don't feel like they're super talented. I mean, look, we haven't even had our best offensive player play right now. I mean,
right.
Whether you think Tyler is or not, like one of our best, if not the best. You know what? In my belief, like if you took this system and we could go back in time and you ran the system with Jimmy on any of those teams over the last few years, this still works very well. Like this would work for Jimmy Butler too. It's not about the spacing. It's not about the shooting. It's good basketball. Like I believe in the principles. This is what I run with my high school team, with my AAU team. A little bit different, but like I believe in this type of basketball, and I'm really excited to watch what this can do for this team.
I'm interested that you say it would have worked with Jimmy, because I guess the concern, where on top of my head, I'd be like, okay, extremely high IQ. I mean, like no question about it, right? And is that the major reason you would say that? Because his inclination was to slow things down,
and I think
mismatch.
When you talk about read and react, like having ran this type of system for 10 years. The players that are the most talented, not everybody has the same menu in front of them. Like our best players, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Bam, Norm, those types of guys, what they can do in the offense is going to be different than your weaker guys. And I would say the same thing for my high school or AAU teams. What I allowed those players to do, they have the keys to do certain things. The other players, because of the way that this works, like it's so different. Like I don't want to try to say that like me as a high schooler and AAU coach, like I can watch these games and I can see the principles in action. Like I've sent clips now that I've kind of recognized. I kept saying to Greg and Adele, I'm like, this is read and react. Like you can watch it and it's as simple. Like I had a middle school AAU team years ago and we ran read and react. You can see the same principles. Like if Davion drives right, you see the circle movement. The guy's moving from the 5 spots in a circle. If they drive right, they move right. If he drives left, they move left. Like it's simple stuff. Like you could teach your daughter to run some of these base layers. Like I know she
teach me. Yeah.
You went to basketball with Tony Fiorentino, camp with Tony Fiorentino. Like she can do this stuff. I promise you.
She's practicing it in the other room.
But it's like, I'm not trying to simplify it like the Heat are running a middle school offense, but at the same time, when you have that talent, it allows them to open up so many different things. And when the ball moves like that, the NBA, you're so used to ball screens. You're so used to isolation. This is completely different. Ball screens, why don't you see them right now? It brings 4 different guys in a small box on the floor. You don't have that spacing anymore. Now, when the ball's moving, you can attack closeouts. You can do different things. It's really exciting to see the stylistic different than most teams in the NBA.
And again, this is Noah LaRoche's system to a certain degree. Again, not just his system, but some of his principles, his take on the system that seem to be replicated here. What's interesting also is that he left Memphis and they've gone away from this system.
Yeah.
In part, I guess, because Ja didn't like that system, but now Ja's not happy with the current situation either, which is going to lead Heat fans to be like, let's go get Ja, who's the guy who doesn't want this particular iteration of offensive basketball, and you would be getting back to an isolation player. I'm not saying no to it necessarily. I'm not. Okay, it depends. But I'm saying it goes the opposite direction of kind of where they're going. There's a flip side to this. And actually Brady's writing about this for our On SI site this morning, which is why he's not here. But I want to ask you about it specifically, because there are some players who may not be as effective in this system as they go forward. You know what is effective? When you have a car accident, reaching out to 305-800-PAIN. Again, the phone number is the brand, based in Doral, bilingual. If you have a car accident, they will get you to an attorney, the right attorney, right away to handle your particular situation. Slip and falls as well, all of that. Make sure to check out their Instagram at 305-800-PAIN for all the things that they do. They're Manny Danny, their team, again, based in Doral, bilingual. They're perfect for this market, and the phone number is easy to remember. It's 305-800-PAIN. So there are some who may not benefit as much. Now, the number one guy who comes to mind is Khalil Ware. And offensively, right? Because, I mean, a lot of his baskets are coming off last year, coming off pick and rolls, lobs. They're not running as many pick and rolls. Where does he fit in? And is there anybody else that you would be concerned about in this system? Because I know the other name that's going to come up, and because he hadn't played yet, I'm not as concerned about him, actually.
No, I'll touch on that first. Like, I have no worries about Tyler. Like, as long as he buys into the principles of the offense and the ball's moving and the running actions, it's no problem. Like, the same thing when we talked about Jimmy earlier. You would think Jimmy would be so good in this offense because of the space, because of the movement. But with Ware, and it's not Ware himself, it's just the prototype of a big that I mean, I get it that he can shoot threes, but like, he's not doing stuff with the ball. He's not attacking close. Like, he can't do that. And that's where, like, just me, my like philosophy of basketball, I just don't like two bigs. It's nothing against Ware. Like, people give me a hard time on or off the floor. Like, it's not about Ware. It's just, I don't want to play with two bigs because I want to have versatility in my lineup where I can attack and do things like that. In this offense, it's not that he can't fit, because I think he is a high IQ basketball player, but the things that he can do within it are somewhat limited. Like, again, I said that word, like that menu. His menu is shorter than the menu that most people have in front of them in this offense on our team. Like, he just can't do it. And so, you know, when you put him out there, it's not that the offense can't work for him. He has to be inside. He has to be closer to the basket, because if you're going to have Ware on the other side just being a spot-up shooter, like, what are we doing? We might as well have somebody else out there. He doesn't give you that much on rebounding most of the time. He kind of falls into rebounds. He's not really giving you that much on defense. You might as well have somebody else out there. So it is unique, though, that his unique skill set, you have to find ways to maximize it. Like, in the offense can be so formed into different things that if you have Ware on the floor, all right, play differently. Like, you don't have to play the same way when Bam's on the floor that when you have Ware on the floor. If you have I don't know, Nico at the quote unquote 5, and I'm glad that we've made it 20 minutes so far.
I'm
we
sorry.
haven't put a number yet because the damn system is positionless. You don't need numbers. So if we're going to buy into the system, we're going to praise Noah's system. We got to stop using the 1 through 5 numbers, because that's like the core principle of it. It's all layers and actions together. It's not about 1 through 5. It's not about set plays. So if anything else in these 20 minutes, please stop using the 1 through 5 numbers. Thank you.
Well, I can't use 1 through 5. I have a middle schooler, so I can only use 6, 7. That's it. That's all. That's
I don't need to hear that.
That's all I'm allowed to do. Okay. You mentioned, we talk about Ware. Somebody who looks like he's benefited from the system is Fontecchio.
For sure.
So from what you've seen here over the first few games, he seems like a pretty high IQ player. I mean, not having had a chance to watch him a lot, I know there are some limitations there, but I don't feel like he's someone that's going to be out of this rotation anytime soon. I feel like Larson's more the odd guy out right now, just because it's a little bit of a harder fit. Does that make sense?
Sure. And I think the offense, it gives the players the ability to maximize their strengths and hide their weaknesses. So when we talked about Ware, that's one thing that you would do within that offense. With Fontecchio, he's one of our best spacers, if not our best spacer, until Tyler comes back, and especially with Norm hurt. And so, you know, when you talk about being a spacer, this offense is great because a lot of driving kicks, right? You have people spaced on the other side of the floor, so you can kick it that way. One of the things that it talked about in the videos that you sent on off the floor was the not double driving. So if I drive and kick, I'm not driving right back into that space. I'm making decision. I'm catching and shooting. I'm catching and moving the ball. And with Fontecchio, because you have so much spacing, he's going to have space to shoot the ball. Like, you're going to have guys getting downhill. And if you just focus on watching the Heat and getting paint touches, you'll see Davion doing it. Jaime's been doing it great. And then making the right decision. If you get into the basket, you get into the paint, and you can have a shot, great. If not, then you have to have people on the other side. And that's where Powell, Hero eventually, Fontecchio, whoever on the other side, they're going to get good looks. Like, there's so many times in our offense right now that guys are getting like practice shots, like wide open shots.
Which we did not see. We really did not see. And Spo would always talk about, the shots were there, or the offense is functioning properly, but that still just left guys with a sliver of space. That's not what we're looking at right now. The one final one I want to close with here is Jovic, because on paper he would seem like an ideal fit for this. The ball's moving a little quicker.
Yeah,
he does have the ability to read the floor, but I've seen him get stuck sometimes, and he's been a little inconsistent. He had the 120-point game, but he has not popped like Jaquez has so far this season. Why?
I think he'll be okay. I agree with you that he has all the tools to be an efficient person in this offense. One thing that he does great with the pace is that he's one of the guys that can get it and go. Like, he's not a point guard by any means, but he can initiate that offense. And because it's positionless, guys are running to spots and they can go. I just think right now we're in a small sample size. He hasn't been great. Like, let's not like sugarcoat it. He hasn't been good. He's been okay. But I think that as time goes forward, it may be that he's just adjusting. Like, he's still a young player. It's a new system. Yeah. Maybe he's just having some problems. And because it's not really set plays, you have to be able to read and react. Like, the reading part is the most important. When you have people in this offense and you can't read and you're just reacting, you're going to make, it's almost like wrong answers, right? Like, if you started asking me questions and I predetermine what I'm going to say, I'm going to say the wrong answer. This is no different. It's basketball. If I predetermine what I'm going to do on the catch, it's going to be wrong sometimes. Sometimes I'm going to be right, but most of the time I'm going to be wrong because I'm not actually reading the defense. I think Nico, he's going to have a good season if they continue to play this way because he has all the tools. He's positionless. He can do all those different things. I think he'll be okay.
Two guys I've been impressed with in it are Bam and Wiggins, actually. Because, I mean, Bam, you figure the IQ on it, but he's had to make so many adjustments over the years. But I feel like with Wiggins, it's pockets of the game. It's like he's going to have these little bursts where it's like 7 points and you're like, he's aggressive, getting the basket, secondary actions, all that kind of stuff. He's sort of, the defense is already bent. What I don't want with him, I don't want him making a ton of these decisions at the front end of the clock. That's not, his handle is just not tight enough. Honestly, that's really the issue. And as I've been like, why did this guy not pop the way that people thought he was going to pop? And I feel like that's it. He's able to slither to the basket. He's got a diverse skill set, but it's not, that part of it doesn't really, he feels like a relief option. Like, to me, he's like the running back you dump the ball off to in the backfield, right? Yeah. Where the stuff is not working and he'll get you 17, you know what I mean? Like 17 yards, he'll move the chains. That's where I feel they are with him. But the thing is, personality wise, he kind of fits that. So not prioritizing him in this way, I do think is where he should be, actually. Is that, have you been okay with him so far?
Yeah. And I will say this, my prediction when Tyler comes back, it seems like it's going to be soon. I think it's Davion, Tyler, Norm, Wiggins, Bam. If you want to use numbers, put him at the 4 if that's what you want to, if it makes you feel good.
So you really think he's going to, see, I thought that was going to be the closing lineup. You think that's going to be the starting lineup?
I think so. Yes.
Is it because of how well Davion has played? Is that?
I think it's the fact that he can be that downhill threat that can get to the basket. You don't need to screen with him. He makes good decisions. He's your point attack defender. I think because Wiggins can guard up. I mean, I was amazed. Whether it's, I mean, Wemby's amazing, but like,
right now,
in what world did you think that Andrew Wiggins could guard Wemby? And Wemby would pass the ball out because he was able to provide that much.
No, Andrew was good. There's no question.
That's really what opened my eyes to thinking like that's the way they could go. And we know Spo likes to play smaller.
He's dang. He's dang. It's what he did with the well in 15-16, where he slid him up to that slot and he just played. And that's the way that he played the entire second half of the season.
And if Nico is good, you can put him in that spot too. I mean, but I am impressed with what Wiggins has done offensively because again, he's a high IQ basketball player. You put him in these actions, he can read, he can react to what's going on. He's shot the ball pretty well. And the important thing,
I don't trust the jumper, but
yeah. I mean, I don't trust it either. But
little
you
arc.
make a good point about his handle.
Yeah.
He should not be handling the ball a ton. Like it
No,
should be
no.
1 or 2 dribbles.
No.
If you're dribbling more than that, and this applies to anybody. If you're dribbling more than that, you're probably not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like unless you're initiating and bringing the ball up, you shouldn't be dribbling it more than 2 times. Like it should be the ball's moving quickly.
I'm trying to process. Okay, so if you go with that starting lineup, which I can see it. We've talked about it a little bit. I can see him doing that. So then you're talking about where Jovic, Jaquez, Fontecchio, and Drew. He's gonna play 5 because Larson's 11. Then Larson becomes the spot starter essentially. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I would say 9 to 10. And the thing about
he's not taking Drew out of the rotation. We know that, right? Like that's not happening. I mean, especially if he's starting Davion, he's not.
And you're going to have injury and that type of stuff.
Well, yeah, of course they are. Yeah,
but the thing that we haven't talked about is the sustainability of the pace, because the pace is a whole nother layer to this. Within the offense itself, you're moving so much that the conditioning has to be good. And you think about this, like when you talk about a team that full court presses, like this is the same type of strain on an offensive player because you're moving so much. It's different than most offensive systems, especially in the NBA. I think you have to play more guys because you're moving so much. The strain that's on their bodies, and especially if you have 9-10 capable guys, and maybe it's because our roster is weaker, you don't have like a real heavy front load of it. If it's everybody's the same, just play 9-10 guys and get through the regular season. You don't have to limit it down to 7-8 guys.
Makes sense. Well, anyway, it's different. That's the good thing. That's at least we're at a stage now where we're talking about something that isn't just like beating down the clock and then trying to find a bailout. And I'm with you, and we'll do more episodes on it. I really don't think Tyler's going to be destructive to this. I don't. Whatever issues people may have with the way he plays, he's not. He's never been a chucker in that sense, and he has conformed to a variety of different systems. Offense is not the issue there. There is an issue about how you play this way offensively if you don't defend.
Sure.
And so that I think is reasonable. But as far as his fit on offense, it's fine. All right, Sean, I appreciate it. We'll do more on this as we go forward. Of course, late games coming up here over the weekend. We've got 2 games in LA, a game in Denver. So those Greg will be asleep for, so you'll have to deal with me
too.
Yeah, I know. You all will. You'll catch it in the morning. Anyway, Sean, appreciate it. Have a good night or day, whatever. Enjoy November. And we're looking ahead to Thanksgiving. 6-7, Sean. Those are the only numbers that matter. 6-7. Thank you. Trust me, I want it.